pandemic. Why you acting like it just started today? You been in it. Ain't no vaccine for this in the women or men's clinic. Once it gets in your system, it's permanently imprinted. You living in the pandemic. The pandemic. Why you acting like it just...
This damn pandemic. This damn pandemic got everybody fucked up. Motherfuckers don't know who to believe, what to believe, what to do. The media, they all over it. Everybody choosing sides, taking team. It's divided, polarized, and all fucked up. Me personally, you know what I mean? I sit back. I wear my mask when I go out. And I think I might be a social distancing expert. Because I find myself social distancing from people who live in the house with me. You know what I mean? I automatically just don't get too close to nobody. But as far as the jab go, they'll have to just straight hunt me down to get me to indulge in that, because I just don't trust it. You know what I mean? I don't knock it to anybody else, but me personally, I don't trust that shit. You know what I mean? I'm a painter, and I basically generate my own work, so it's gonna be hard for them to get at me through the job or whatever. I'm waiting for them to start the debit card shit. I don't give a fuck about going to a concert or a sporting event, nothing like that. I average like maybe one concert a year, and ever since my sons got out of school and stopped playing sports, I don't really go to sporting events like that. So it's gonna, I'm gonna be hard to reach unless they going house to house with that shit. And I'm noticing the same thing probably everybody else, you know what I mean, in my little sphere. Like how all these networks, they got lockstep, they got the same talking points on each network, according to, excuse me, woo, according to whichever political party that they in bed with. But one thing that they agree upon is it's black people's fault, just like always. You know, the right wingers, you know what I mean, they come right out and say it. Like the lieutenant governor of Texas, when he made his little statement about black people was leading the spread, and CNN just let you go ahead and assume that it's black people they talk about, because that's all they talk about. And this whole Nicki Minaj thing wouldn't even been a big deal at all if it wasn't for Joy Reid going on her national news show and putting it out there like that. That's when it really picked up steam, and that's her job. That's her job, to start bullshit, and she allow them to weaponize her melanin against the group. Like I said in the last video I made, I said that government in America is comprised of heartless white people. That's left wing and it's right wing. They got nothing but heartless white people. They don't care about our plight. They will never care about our plight more than they will care about upholding white supremacy. You know what I mean? That's how they rock over there. And, okay, you got black people in government, black looking people in government, and what they do is they get in government and they develop personal agendas. As long as they can stay rich and stay in power, they will do anything to do that. There is no integrity involved. You have no representation at the national level. You have self-serving black people and heartless white people. And you know what I mean? That's a dangerous mix for us. And with this, so Democrats pro-vaccine to a certain extent, because a lot of black people are Democrats, and a lot of black people, it ain't nothing that you can tell them to get them to sign up and go and get the jab. But you also got the bougie Democrats. You got the bougie black Democrats. Now the bougie black Democrats are going, you know what I mean? They pro jab. They probably already got it because they believe in government. They think that the Black Lives Matter crowd, I hate to even fucking say that shit and include myself because technically I'm not included, but I'm just speaking at the way that they look at it. When they say Black Lives Matter, that means black people, period, blanket statement. So, but you know, like the far left, as you would call it, the far left ain't taking the vaccine. The far right ain't taking the vaccine. Everybody in the middle, whether it's Democrat or Republican, you got the middle politic versus the so-called fringe politics. And just like probably like my third video in a row, I'm noticing that the black people from the far left and the white people from the far right got the same issue right now. You know what I mean? Like for the first time, the far left black people and the far right share talking points against the middle, and that shit is absolutely crazy to me because that's the two most polarized groups in America. Now, the naive would think that something might could come out of that. You know what I mean? We find a common ground and unite, but get that fucking dumb ass thought out of your head. Because like I said earlier in the video, they don't care about shit, including their own lives, more than they care about upholding white supremacy in this country, because that is the only way that they stay in power and prosper like they do, from all the giveaways and goodies and givens that come along with being part of the dominant society. So don't even think about no kind of coalition building. You know what I mean? They just want to get this COVID thing out of the way so that they can get their economy back the way it was and get back to the real job. And that's attacking black people and making every problem in this country the fault of black people. And so I'm scrolling around the internet. I see they suspended Nicki Minaj's Twitter account. Now, that's very unfair because she didn't do nothing but exercise critical thinking. But at the same time, if you think that I'm gonna run to her defense as far as this government thing, you know what I mean? I got my issues with Nicki Minaj, and it's not the typical issues that you might think. You know what I mean? Like, you know, by her music and, you know, the way she present herself and allow them to hold her up as an example of a black woman to these black girls. That in itself is enough to get me off your team. But I ain't even talking about that. I'm talking about all of these little disrespectful things that she's done over time with the Foundation of Black Americans. You know what I mean? She has mentioned, I think two, maybe three. I know she had something to say about Harriet Tubman that wasn't particularly flattering, and she said some bullshit about Malcolm X. She took a picture for an album, for a song called "Looking Ass Niggas," and tried to use the image of Malcolm X looking out the window for the image. You know, I felt like that was disrespectful. So she do her little grimy shit. She called black girls cockroaches or something like that one time. So, you know, I ain't caping for it in that sense, but it's wrong at the end of the day. And you know what I mean? My channel is about justice. So I hope that Nicki Minaj gets either end of justice based on her behavior. You know what I mean? See what else has been popping out there. The Young Turks, they still at it. It seemed like they taking the lead in trying to shout Nicki Minaj down. Fox News is on her side. Tucker Carlson, Fucker Tarson, or whatever the fuck you want to call him, he offered to send somebody to Trinidad to investigate about her cousin's friend or whatever. You know, he just one thing about that right wing, they will use anything to their advantage. They'll be against some shit one day and for it the next day, just based on whatever way the wind is blowing, whichever way it can help their cause. You know, they'll reverse field in a minute, and they so codified with the people. The people will just play right along with it. You know what I mean? Play crazy to the end. You know what I mean? Never give up the con. They codified with that shit. So they've been leading the league. They got this guy, Dr. Rashard Ritchie, and he trying to pull some type of chameleon act with his, you know, he take like a soft pro-black stance on most issues. But when you listen to him over time and whittle away to the core of his ideology, he's just a fucking Democrat shield, just like the rest of them. So he always got something about a fucking Karen or something dumb like that. And I checked out this live stream with brother BNX. I like that brother. Brother BNX, I like that brother. So He had a little panel. I think all of them was from the nation, and they was reviewing this Kevin Samuels video, and and I share his perspective on that. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, the guy is forcing a conversation to be had what it seemed like the men and the women been running from. You know what I mean? Things have gotten so loose and so out of control, and the delusion of like a couple of generations, you know what I mean? He's bringing it to a head, and he do a good job at that. Some people can't handle his straightforward approach, but from the clip that I saw, like, he'll try to make his point without really slamming down hard, unless you just like he was talking to a female, and she was refusing to understand something that was clear, and what it was, she wasn't refusing to understand it. She just didn't want to accept it. So she kept trying to weasel out, till he cut all the way to the core, until, you know what I mean, he hurt her feelings. You could just see it all in her body language. But okay, and one of the guys on there was like, he's the first guy to come through and do this and do that, and he's like a brand new thing to the world. But anybody that thinks that Kevin Samuels is original, obviously have never heard of Jason Black, TBA, the Black Authority, all of the basic philosophy of the things that he's saying, like this high value man talk. All that shit comes from Jason Black. All of it. All that shit is remake, mix, and rehash. You can literally, okay, TBA, he got a few channels, you know what I mean? The Black Authority is like, it's a political channel. It's a black first, pro-black, no nonsense channel. And he really breaks down issues a lot deeper than anybody else, in my opinion. And he's got this other channel called The Business. And The Business deals with money, and it deals with relationships between black men and black women, finances and all that. And all of Kevin Samuels and all the rest of these guys out here that try to do that, all that shit come from TBA. And see, TBA can tell you why, give you an example, and speak from real life experience. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't looked at the guy bank account, but I've looked at his work. You know what I mean? I've looked at his work. The things that he's done in the real world tells me that he's not lying when he speaks. And he speaks from the perspective of the six figure, you know what I mean, up to $1 million a year earner, actually on the dating scene and seeing these things. And he tells you what a guy like that looks for in a woman. In my opinion, I don't know this brother Kevin Samuels. You know, I heard a few things, but I've been listening to TBA since like 2010. You know what I mean? And he show improve, and he come with receipts. And I think that Kevin Samuels is just a good talker. I'm not saying he lying. I'm not saying he fake. I'm saying, in my opinion, I don't feel like, put it like this, I feel like his money came from YouTube. Now, he's like the king of the spear on YouTube right now. He got so many followers, so many views. That's a big check every month. You know what I mean? You can do some things with that. But I don't think that he was out there in the real world dealing with the kind of money that you have to know what a man with that kind of money wants. That's all I'm saying. Shout out to TBA. He the king, man. Everybody need to get some TBA in their rotation to balance this bullshit out. Because a lot of these people just talking, telling you shit they heard, and giving you a damn wish list. But TBA gonna give you a blueprint. See what else going on today. I see it was like, I think they said something about Polite. Got some more charges. I don't know. I was looking at it. I saw it on my feed, but I didn't click on it, because basically, you know, I washed my hands with Polite a long time ago. So, you know what I mean, I'm really uninterested. I saw Sonetta yesterday, and he had a little panel up, and they was talking about Polite, and he had this guy Unc on there. He always saying something crazy. You know what I mean? He ready to forgive and forget. Sound like me. He didn't actually say that. That's just my opinion. But that's all I got for today. Just want to holler at y'all for a minute. You know, until next time, this is your host. Till the next post.